I find a lot of joy in taking these different mediums and things that I love doing and sort of combining them all into one place. These different sound objects stem out of my love for music and sound design and musical equipment in general. It's just so much fun seeing the parts come together to make a whole, to make something that is cohesive, even if it doesn't feel like it. Even just getting to experience some quirky sounds or whimsical sounds pull you out of everyday life are what bring me the most joy in the things that I do. I wouldn't say that I'm an electrical engineer by any means at all. So much of what I've learned has come from the people around me, teaching me, my professors, the internet, just this curiosity to sort of figure out how certain things work. If you can get it working and it's something that is cool and is beautiful. So when I get an idea, it just starts to sort of develop in my head, and I do a lot of sketching and thinking about what it will look like, what it could look like, how I want it to look, and some of that just feels like it has this intuition with it. The sketches are really fun to go back through and look at. As I'm looking back at old projects and ideas, not all of them come into reality, and sometimes I never figure out how to make them, but sometimes I do, and sometimes they turn into something really fun. Some of the interests that I have, it definitely comes from my grandparents. My grandfather was a woodworker. My grandmother is a piano player, and this interest in sound and creating things, I think that's where I get a lot of it. So much of these memories that I draw from and find this feeling of nostalgia comes from them and the objects that I remember playing with, the objects that I remember seeing growing up. My art show, Rewire, is going to be a combination of pieces that I've made over the last 3 years. I've been collecting electronic equipment, buttons and switches and old tape players, things that I can reuse and repurpose in different and fun ways that become interactive. The purpose of making these things has sort of changed. My first year as a student, I feel like I didn't have that specific purpose in the things that I was making. Now looking back, I think that that's okay. The best way to define it now is finding glimpses of joy and bringing old things back to life. The year 2020, I was gifted a box of old film slides and a beat-up slide projector. Thought it was broken at first, but then it ended up working, and I just really loved the quality, colors, some of the texture that you get from the old aging film. When I look at these slides, they take you to all sorts of different places. All over the world, people's vacation photos, family photos. There's these interesting textures that appear that have this nod to history and just the aging process. It ties into this conversation of memory, and everyone seems to experience it differently. Everyone has their own past. I see memory as a network of interconnected thoughts that we're pulling together to make sense of what we know right now. It has this feeling of sadness too, because as much as we try, we can't hold on to the past and these feelings and thoughts that we have. But these pictures capture those feelings and emotions. You don't always know what something is going to be, but there's always this part of you that wants to see it to the end.